Of the Group A Round 2 King of the Road tournament night. We're here at the Indy Roval, and it's a close battle on the bubble. Max Boost, who's basically safe going into the final round on Wednesday night. He's going to lead just like he's done every race so far. He's 5 for 5, looking to cap off round 2, going 6 for 6. He leads down this back straightaway. I'm your commentator, Ayrton Frederick, joined by Tyler McMurder, NOSSCAR CEO, who's done a great job of putting this together. He's our in-race reporter. Thanks for doing that, Ty.
No problem.
And Ty is one of those drivers on the bubble. You see in second place, JCR Clash, and is outside the top 3 where he needs to finish in points. But as it runs, he's 1 point behind coming into this race. So he's got to outscore the man in third, and that's Ty Mac 11 in the 24 car. Points standings are Max Boost, who's won both races tonight, 50 points. Baronade in the 4 car, who qualified at the back after a qualifying penalty. He's got 42 points, but he's pretty safe. He needs a tragedy to happen to miss the next round, but it gets real close. Third place, last safe spot is Ty, who runs third in the race, but behind Clash, who's 1 point behind him in fourth in the standings. And then even Steven in the 13, who's a little further back. He runs fifth in the standings, just another point off of Clash, and 38, 37, 36 are their points. And then NASCAR King in the 9 car, who is a little bit further up in this pack, I believe. He is a few seconds behind Ty. He's 5 points off Ty, so he needs a really good run if he wants a shot to make it into the final round based on points as well. But Max Boost driving off, and the closest battle on track is also a points battle. Clashing leads Ty on track, and as they run in points, he needs 1 point to tie him. But as they run second and third, second gets 2 points over third. So Ty's got to do all he can to get around that 51 Toyota if he wants to make it into the final round on Wednesday night. Of course, anybody who doesn't make it on points here in the second round has a last chance qualifier Wednesday night before the final event. So no reason to completely give up if he can't make it on points. In that 51 car, all out of shape into that left-hander, and Ty might have a chance down this front straightaway if he gets a good enough exit. Just 16 laps here at the Indy Roval. Really short sprint race here on this legendary road course. Was once a host to the Formula 1 event. Once a controversial Formula 1 event. Won't get too much into it, but let's say tires got some problems and only 6 cars race. But here tonight, 8 cars on track, and these are the key 2 as they run. Ty Mac behind the 51 Toyota Clash and trying to get his spot back into the final round. Hound in the back bumper of that 51 Toyota. Max Boost won the Winter Pro Series race here on NASCAR Heat a couple months ago, and looking to repeat that victory here in the King of the Road tournament. Not having too much problems doing it. He's raced in 5 races so far in this tournament, and looking to get his 6th win in 6 races and sweep every race he's done so far. Here is Kenny, the 32 Ford, who came in a very tricky point situation. Looks like he has already retired the 32 Ford. Very unfortunate, very quick all night, but just made a few mistakes that knocked him out of contention. Again, here is this battle for second place and third spot in the standings. JCR Clash doing a good job of holding off a very quick 24 Chevy Camaro of Ty Mac. And here is 4th and 5th NASCAR King holding off Even Steven. Even Steven needs to gain a lot of ground as much as he can, because he's also in a tricky point situation, and he needs to get ahead of the second and third place cars who are way up the road as Even Steven runs 5th. In between him and them is NASCAR King. He runs in 4th. 6th place is Baronade, who's basically safe, but running this far back, you never know. And he's got Daha Jr. in the 77 behind him. Daha Jr. comes in tied for 7th in points. Probably won't make it unless if something drastically changes here in the coming laps. Made it into this round on fastest lap, and right now looks like he's going to have to get a shot in the last chance qualifier. Gets around Baronade, who had a penalty in qualifying and now gets a penalty here in the race. Must have cut turn 1 a little too much, and the NASCAR Heat officials said, no, we got to make a nice stop and go. Back up front, Clashing, holding off Ty Mac, has pulled away a little bit. I'm sure Ty will have no problem closing that gap back up. You see there under the brakes, Ty pushes very hard, keeps him on the track. Maybe gained a tenth or two on the brakes. Real easy to fall off the track and get a penalty here at this circuit. I'm a victim of it, as I'm sure all these guys are. Ty's about to cross the line. Ty, how many laps are left, and what's the situation in that car?
We are now on lap 5, so we're looking at 12 laps remaining. The car feels good. It's the Indy Roval for you. A little snappy loose once in a while under braking. The elevation changes in the bumps and the rumble strips are all playing into factor into that. And the car's strong. I'm just doing everything I can to run down that 51. He's no easy opponent, though, as you know.
Absolutely. Ty Mack just a few seconds behind the one man he's got to beat. That's JCR Clash in that 51 Toyota. And over the next, now 11 and a half laps, we'll see if he can close that gap back up. Just a few laps ago, he's on the back bumper. I'm sure he will find a way back up to it. Back through the field. Max Boost, of course, leading the way, as he's done every race so far this tournament. And then back for 4th and 5th. Even Steven has gotten around NASCAR King at some point, and that's pulled on him just a little bit. So now he's got to run the race of his life if he wants to have a shot at advancing into the final round based on points, because he is quite a ways behind that battle for 2nd and 3rd, who are his closest points competitors. NASCAR King has done all he can at Canadian Tire, was having a really good run, but ran out of fuel on the very last lap, and that cost him a position and very valuable points. So he's going to also need a miracle if he wants to catch back up in points. If not, he's going to have a shot in the last chance qualifier on Wednesday night. Here's Baronade, who we've seen have a couple runs outside the track limits, and he currently runs 6th, as Daha Jr. in the 77 has also retired, and along with Kenny. These two came in tied in points, both in must-win situations if they want to advance. It looks like they're going to have to take their chances in the last chance qualifier on Wednesday as well. Going down the back straightaway is this battle for 2nd, clashing. Now looking like a dot in the windshield of Timax number 24 Chevy. And the pressure is on now, coming up to about 10 to go, I believe. And that's 10 to go in this round for the Group A drivers in the King of the Road tournament. And it's make or break if they want to make it on points, because it's going to be a lot of drivers in the last chance qualifier. A lot of quick guys who maybe just made a mistake or two that cost them the points. So it will come down to the wire here in this event, and if not, we'll see who can get it done on Wednesday. But right now, Clashin doing a great job, showing up when he needs to. Finished 3rd at Sonoma, and then a decent 5th at Canadian Tire, but that cost him a couple points because he ran a strategy that worked but cost him a lot of time. Maybe could have been a little further up the road, but right now, doing everything he needs to advance as he runs 2nd here at the Indy Roval. You can see just up the road there, that's Max Boost in the one car. He's just been a dot in everybody's windshield these last 2 weeks. Essentially locked into the final round, probably the favorite going into the final round on Wednesday night. Navigating that chicane that you can really stretch the boundaries of the circuit on. JCR clashing into this hard left. Very nice on brakes. That's one of the trickier braking zones. Very easy to push it a little too much. I once did it, and it wasn't pretty. I actually ran into Clashin when I made that mistake. So, he's been on this track. Everybody's been on this track. And they know their way around it. But right now, Max Boost knows the way around the circuit the best, it would appear. As it seems he does everywhere. One of the best in the business, looking to go 6 for 6 in 6 races. Back to Baronade running 6th, the caboose of the field, running all by himself, just getting some lap times and some experience. Came so close in a photo finish at Sonoma, right on the back bumper of Max, after hunting down a 22-second gap after Max made a mistake. So Baronade, quick, very quick driver, just came into this race starting at the rear end of the field and just hasn't really had the race that he needed. Well, he doesn't really need it because he's essentially safe on points, I believe. I would like to do some quick math in my head. While I do that, Ty, tell us about your current situation.
Car's feeling good. Clashing is getting faster, and I'm making more mistakes. So that's kind of what's creating this gap that the viewers might be seeing. But overall, the car's good. We're approaching the halfway mark of this race, and I'm a little shocked by the tire wear that we're seeing in this race. My tires are going to make it, but they're still looking pretty gnarly. It's just one thing I noticed. Clashing's looking good. Max Boost is in a league of his own, as usual. And I've got a nice comfy cushion over the drivers running 4th and 5th on back. So I'm happy with my performance so far here tonight. I don't know if it's going to be good enough for me to advance to the finals, though. Time will tell. And if I have to enter this Wednesday in that last chance qualifier, so be it. And I can't wait. It's been a fun time, this whole tournament.
Absolutely. It has been a great tournament so far. You've done a great job putting this together. And round 2 comes to an end tomorrow night. I'll be in the car, and Ty, I believe, will be in the booth. So that's going to be a lot of fun for me. And yeah, it's going to be great last week of this tournament. The inaugural King of the Road tournament that's had some big names stick out and had some surprise winners as well. Make their way through the rounds. But right now, Max Boost, nobody's surprised by this. Dominating every race he's been in, has started at the back twice, and has worked his way up to win those races as well. Got to see some great defense by him back at Sonoma when he had that photo finish with Baronade. So, certainly knows everything that he needs to do in a race car. JCR clashing in the 51, like I said, is doing everything he needs to do to advance on points. If something happens and he's knocked out and has to advance in the qualifying round, I wouldn't count him out as well, because he is a quick driver. But right now, good on points. Timac came in, good on points, but right now running 3rd. Just going to be 1 point shy, I believe. So needs to get to it if he wants to advance on points, but anything could happen. Only a little past halfway now, and anything could happen here at this race. Very unpredictable circuit. And as you heard when we checked in with him, tires could become an issue. You may not have to pit, but as you get to the end of the race, it might get so warm, we might see some guys make some mistakes. Further on back, we checked on this battle earlier. Even Steven was up to 4th, but now NASCAR King has gotten around him and has really gapped the 13 car by quite a bit. This is 2-time NOSSCAR World Champion, Even Steven, who came in close on points, but it really has not done what he needed to do to advance. But another driver that I would not count out in the last chance qualifier. New to these heat games and has progressed very quickly in these stock cars. Here's NASCAR King in 4th, who was just a little too far back on points, would have needed a miracle, would have basically needed to win. And he'll probably have to settle for last chance qualifier on Wednesday as well. Now, Baronade's situation is interesting. He runs 6th, which will make the point situation a lot closer than it was coming in. But I do believe he will be good on points, even with the 6th place finish. I believe, if my math is correct, he will tie with Clashin, and then Timac will be just 1 point shy of either of them. But far and away right now is the 1 car, Max Boost. Running position number 1 almost 100% of the time he's on track. So he definitely deserves that number 1 car. Again, I've only seen him make 1 mistake in the 6 races that he's run, and we didn't even really see it. Happened off camera. Made 1 mistake at Sonoma, and that's it. He is one of the most consistent, smooth drivers I've ever watched, and really got to tip my hat to him. There's 2nd place again, clashing in the 51. Great clutch performance so far in this Indy Roval race. We'll see if he can top it off and advance on points. And here's Timac running in 3rd. At this point, just needs to do everything he can to keep the car on track, but also keep it fast, and then just maybe hope that Clashin makes a mistake or two and put him back in the running. And here's this battle for basically pride at this point, and both drivers make a mistake. 4th and 5th, NASCAR King and Even Steven. Number 9, number 13. Both of them had a little run off the track in turn 4 if the racetrack map in my head is correct. And here comes Even Steven to make a move on the inside. At the end of the back straightaway. NASCAR King is going to run way off track into the grass, and Even Steven will take that 4th spot right on back. But many, many seconds behind the guys he needs to be battling. Which is a shame for the 2-time NASCAR World Champion, but this is not his last opportunity to make it. And now Baronade, I believe, is on the lead lap, so he's going to get into this battle, which is very surprising. He's really been pushing, because we saw him way off the pace early on, getting penalties and going off track, but he has caught up to this 4th, 5th place battle. And now it's a 3-car battle for 4th. Baronade just trying to make sure he is safe on points again. I'm not sure if my math earlier was correct. I'm no mathematician by any means, but right there he gets a penalty, and so did NASCAR King. So that's going to send Even Steven on his merry way and almost lock him into 4th. Baronade will hold this 5th place. After a very interesting turn of events there, Baronade went to the inside of NASCAR King. And NASCAR King, I guess, tried to hold him off or go for a crossover, and both of them cut turn 1 or stopped on track to serve their penalty. And now they go on as well. So NASCAR King, in a matter of just a few laps, went from 4th back to 6th. Again, in a must-win situation, this is not what he needed, but we will see him on Wednesday night in the last chance qualifier. And even so, he's definitely got to be proud of himself for making it this far into the elite round 2 in this King of the Road tournament, the inaugural NASCAR King of the Road tournament here in 2021. And at the end of this event here at the Indy Roval, we will see who is the absolute best of the best from this Group A, and who will be going for the title of King of the Road on Wednesday night. How many laps to go, Ty?
Let's see here. We're coming around to 3 laps to go when the leader hits the line.
3 to go when the leader hits the line, and Max Boost is about to hit the line, so a little over 3 minutes of racing left. Probably more like 4 minutes. And Max Boost will have swept his way through the first 2 rounds, which is remarkable. As I said, super consistent and consistently up in first place. And we know that he knows how to drive this circuit, won the Winter Heat Series event here. And not just good on the road courses, he is one of the best all around on this game. And I'm not at all surprised to see him do as good as he's done. But it is just remarkable that he's able to win 6 of 6 if it holds station through the next 2 1/4 lap. And here we see Baronade again back in 5th place. He is hunted down Even Steven. Not sure if Steven had an issue going off track or anything, but Baronade was miles back on Even Steven, but now only a couple seconds behind. So we'll see if this can heat up for 4th place towards the end. Again, not really, as it stands, going to count for anything but pride. But this 4-car definitely looks very hungry. I'd be hungry too if I had a Jimmy John sticker looking at me all race. About lap and a half to go. Oh, NASCAR King. Sorry, this would be 2 to go at the line. NASCAR King, however, had a big mistake coming back onto the oval. Mick Schumacher style. And he is basically out of contention for a top 5 in this race. And that's a heartbreaker, but he will be back on Wednesday night in the last chance qualifier. Max Boost starting 2 to go. Penultimate lap here at the Indy Roval. Here's JCR Clashing crossing the stripe. Ty Mack takes his 2 to go signal as well. Back to Even Steven, who's about half a lap behind. In 4th. He's going to have a 4-car in his rearview mirror pretty soon at this rate. That Geico Camaro. He did all he can, and very, very impressed of him to make it this far in the tournament, being so new to the Heat games. But again, 2-time NASCAR World Champion, he adapts to anything. And he has adapted very well. Let's see how he adapts to this 4-car, hunting him down with just 2 laps to go for these two drivers. Max Boost coming through the last 2 corners to take the white flag here in the final race of this Monday night Group A bracket. That 1 car has been in position number 1 for about 90% of the night. And Max Boost just has a jetpack on full boost all the time. He's just got 1 more lap to go here at the Indy Roval. Here we see even Steven in 13, and I was talking about that 4-car hunting him down, but again, it looks like that 4-car might have got a penalty. He's gotten many penalties, started in the back because of a qualifying penalty, and we've seen on camera 2 penalties, so maybe he got another penalty because he is nowhere near that 13 car any longer. So that battle for 4th place has died down, and Baronet is just going to take what he needs, and he is basically locked in on points for Wednesday night's final. But here is your race winner for the 6th time in just 6 races. As long as he can navigate these last 3 corners clean. Even then, he'd have to really mess up to lose his gap. Max Boost in the number 1 gear wrench Chevy Camaro. Through the left-hand hairpin, and then back onto the oval for the final time here in Indianapolis. Max Boost is going to win here in the Indy Roval. It's his 3rd win of the night, 6th win in 6 races, and he is going to advance to the final round on Wednesday night. Further on back, JCR Clash and Timac are really close into the final 2 corners. Looks like Clash made a mistake. Timac's going to need a miracle, though, because this is not really a braking zone. Clash eating up the curbs. Timac's going to give it all he's got getting back on the oval. But it's not going to be enough. JCR Clashin is going to get in on points, and Timac, I believe, is going to have to hope for the best in the Wednesday night last chance qualifier. Clashin takes 2nd, Timac 3rd. Further on back, we've got Even Steven running in 4th, who again came in just 2 points below the cutoff, but just didn't really have the pace he needed here at the Indy Roval to advance. But still very, very impressive from what is generally a Gran Turismo driver. He's going to come through the last 2 corners and take home a very good prideful finish of 4th place. And we will also see him Wednesday night in the last chance quali. Behind him on track is going to be NASCAR King, who's going to take home 6th because I believe he's a lap down. Who will also have to advance through the last chance quali if he can. And then Baronet, who does advance on points as well, takes home 5th place. So Ty, unfortunately, doesn't look like you made it on points. You gave it all you got really close at the end. What's going through your mind right now?
Heartbreak, I'll be honest. 1 point short, that's a bit of a shame. That first race at Sonoma is what ultimately burned me. I qualified 4th for it, but I finished 6th. I screwed up early and got some front-end damage and had a whole lot to rally back from in that one, and I only was able to rally from 8th back to 6th, and I think that's what ultimately cost me. I think if I were able to get a top 5 or a 4th place finish in that race like I qualified, it would be a little bit different right now. I can't be too disappointed, though, with how my night went. Other than Sonoma, it went great. 2nd at Canadian Tire, 3rd at the Indy Roval. I think that I proved that I do belong on this stage with these guys, and I think I proved in the Winter Heat Series race when I finished 15th in that as well. Hats off to Max Boost, Baronet, and JCR Clashin. I believe that if the points are all correct, they're going to be the 3 advancing to the finals. And to everyone else, I'll see you Wednesday for the last chance qualifier. Charlotte Roval's not necessarily my best road course. In fact, it might even be my worst, but going to do all I can there this Wednesday.
That's NOSSCAR CEO Tyler McMurder, who's done a great job of organizing this. Missed it by that much at the very end of the night, but we will see him, along with many other drivers who missed out tonight on points, on the last chance qualifier Wednesday night before the final event. But round 2 is not over. Tomorrow night I'll be in the car. We'll have Ty in the booth along with maybe some other guys. So we will see you tomorrow night for Group B of round 2 in the 2021 NOSSCAR King of the Road tournament. I am your commentator, Ayrton Frederick. Huge thanks for Ty for being the in-race reporter, and Kyle Bowers, who joined us in the booth for the first 2 races. That'll do it for Group A, in round 2 of the NASCAR King of the Road tournament in 2021.